Hi guys, and welcome back to ESL and Eyeshadow with me, Beth. Today we're going to do a teacher tale. Now I'm going to start out by warning you, this is not one of the fun ones. This is more of a warning video. A little bit like the tourist teachers one, but much more important. Many teachers, when they teach overseas, not only are they not qualified, not only are they there because they want to travel, they're there for a more sinister reason, which is they often want to take advantage of women in areas that are less developed, where there are less opportunities. I spent 2 years in Asia, absolutely sickened by how many Western men with absolutely no qualifications to teach and no desire to really teach well at all, who were just using it as a ticket to be in the country, and whose primary reason for being in Asia was to prey upon women, and young women at that. One day I walked into the teacher's room in a school I used to work for, which thankfully is, as far as I know, is closed now. And there was a group of male teachers who shut up very quietly when I walked in. And I was the senior teacher because I was the only teacher there with actual teaching qualifications. So I had the authority to go over and ask them what they were doing. And a more inexperienced and newer member of staff, stupidly for him, told me what they were doing. And he said, oh, it's this really good mingle exercise. And I was like, okay. And the others were like nudging him and telling him to be quiet and staring daggers at him. And I said, no, continue. What's this great activity? Maybe I'll use it in one of my classes. And he basically showed me this piece of paper which had all of these personal details. So it was like name, age, address, normal stuff that you would ask a low-level adult class, because this is the kind of things you'll find in a kind of IELTS 4, A2 level. What's your name and address? Where do you come from? Perfectly fine. However, then it started getting a little bit more personal. And this was while I was in China, and there was a chat app called QQ that was really like a kind of WhatsApp, but so popular, and everyone had a QQ number. And it had, what's your QQ number, what's your phone number, what's your email address, what's your favourite food, and all of these questions on their own seem quite innocuous, they seem quite normal. And especially if you take it as the children are asking each other. I say children, they're like teenagers aged between 14 to 18. And on their own, they all seem like fairly harmless questions because they're asking each other and they're filling out this information. However, I noticed that at the top of each paper there was a mark out of 10. And I said, how are you scoring a mingle activity? Why are you scoring a mingle activity? And this new teacher laughed and he said, oh no, that's how hot the girl is. I said, sorry, what? He said, that's how hot the girl is. I was like, you're talking about a 15-year-old. He was like, yeah, but it's just a joke. And I looked at the faces of the 4 other teachers and I could tell it's not a joke. They now had in their hands how attractive each of these teachers felt a student in their classroom was, and they had their personal information. They also had their hobbies, their favourite music, their favourite colours, their favourite food, and the ability to now message these children and say, do you want to go and watch this movie with me? They were literally using their classroom to groom children. Now thankfully I was in a position where I could fire these guys, and I fired them and I reported them, and I wouldn't have them back in the school. But I know not every school has someone as diligent as myself in them. Now I don't want to scare people and make you think that every school that you send your child to is going to have someone like this there. but you do need to be very vigilant and make sure that they don't. There is another problem where it's not children, where it's older women. Because, and when I say older women, I mean of age, so 18, 21 plus. And there seems to be, and this is mainly I found with American men, but I did find it with a couple of English and Canadian men as well, where I'm trying to be kind, they're the kind of people that women in Western countries wouldn't look twice at. They're quite weak-willed, they were quite misogynistic, they despised me being in charge of them. And it was quite obvious that less docile stereotype of woman would knock these people into shape quite quickly. And they have the belief, especially teaching in Asia, that Asian women are these sweet, docile creatures who will just be yes sir, no sir, whatever you want. And they go there specifically looking for this, and then they completely dominate these poor girls. And I had so many arguments with men telling me I was trying to indoctrinate my students with feminism, because I was trying to teach them that they are worthwhile and they shouldn't let men take advantage of them. And this was happening with men who were in their 20s, right the way through into their 60s. And they were all after one thing, which was young Asian women. So it would be really helpful if you watched the video about tourist teachers, because knowing whether or not they're real teachers is a really good way of finding out if they should be teaching you in the first place. But you should also remain vigilant when you're in the classroom. A good teacher will never ask you for your personal information. A good teacher will never ask you to connect to them on WhatsApp. They will certainly never try and use anything they've learned from you in the classroom in order to make favour with you. So if I ask you what your favourite food is, I'm not going to invite, and you say pizza, I'm not going to invite you out for pizza the next day. If someone does that to you, they're not there to teach you, they're there because they want more from you. And you must be very vigilant of that as a second language learner. If you're a minor and you feel your teacher is being inappropriate with you at all, tell your parents, make them tell the school. You will not get in any trouble if a teacher is behaving badly in your country. They will. So, I hope this has been helpful for you. Please do make sure you're looking out for things like this, because honestly, the only reason I was in Asia for just 2 years was because I couldn't take just how prevalent this was. I hope in the last few years it's cleaned itself up a bit, but from the stories I hear from my friends who are still there, it hasn't. So be vigilant, be watchful, and remember, you're there to get an education. They're not there to get a girlfriend. So that's all for me today. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you again for hopefully a happier teacher tale. Bye!